Exercise 2, Compared Triangular Distribution. Build a triangular distribution with same parameters as previous PERT on cell B8 and compare both distributions. That is, using the same most likely or mode of 60, minimum of 50 and maximum of 130 minutes. 1. Place your cursor on cell B8 and click on the Define Distribution button. The following palette window appears. Choose a triangular distribution. The following window appears. 2. Click on the Assign Excel Reference as Arguments button on the left-hand side of the window beneath the Parameters section in order to retrieve the following window. 3. Click on respectively B3, B4 and B5 cells to insert parameter references for the minimum, most likely and maximum parameters. 4. When done, press on the upper right-hand side corner of this small window to return to At-Risks window, which will now look like this. 5. Use the button at the bottom part of the distribution window to place an overlaid chart on top of the previously created one. You can do this for viewing and comparing purposes. Create an overlaid PERT distribution to compare both distributions. By dragging the right delimiter, the vertical line on top of the chart, above the 90-minute value on the x-axis, observe how much probability, the area under the curve, lies beyond according to each one of the two distributions that share the same three parameters. Observe that the triangular distribution assigns close to 29% probability of an outcome larger than or equal to 90 minutes. On the other hand, the PERT distribution only assigns close to 9% probability at this mark. In other words, if the driver considers that he is arriving late to work after 90 minutes, then the triangular distribution would impose such an outcome on close to 3 out of 10 possible days, whereas the PERT distribution would only assign such an outcome on less than once every 10 days. In other words, the triangular weights as much as 3 times the tail of the distribution at points beyond 90 minutes. The triangular distribution has these desirable characteristics: A. It is relatively easy to specify, and B. Even if it overestimates the extremes, if not significantly overestimated, it can then be considered as a conservative distribution. The more biased distribution, the triangular one, will tend to have tails that are fatter than the PERT. The analyst should decide which distribution best describes the behavior of the tail. The triangular distribution has these deficiencies: A. In cases where there is a very small possibility of an extreme event, the triangular will tend to overestimate the probability of an extreme result. B. It assumes linearity of the probability density function. We tend to prefer the shape of a PERT distribution, which assumes that the predominance of the results occur in the most probable range, and the tails are rounded. In other words, a triangular distribution creates a mathematical discontinuity at its peak, or mode, something that the PERT avoids. 6. Click on the OK button to finish the insertion of this triangular distribution on top of this cell. The function should be as follows.